हेलो या थोड़ा बस it's better. Yeah. Start. Yeah. Good evening. We'll do the meditation first. Please close your eyes. Relax the body. Breathe with the music. Our journey starts from the cremation ground, the smashan. Think of the cremation ground once. Remember all the people who have come there and their bodies have ended up in ashes. When we think of the cremation ground, crematorium, a certain tremor moves through our body. Feel that tremor. Now visualize yourself at home, lying on the bed. And we are waiting for the moment of death. As death comes, in advance, we will experience certain symptoms of death. The 5 elements were allowed themselves to be used so that we could enjoy life. It is through the 5 elements that we experienced life. The 5 elements take their sanskar, their pattern back, and That gives us a kind of experience. When this happens, we thank the five elements. We start with the earth element, and when the earth element takes its pattern back, we suddenly feel that we are losing support. You will experience you're sitting on the chair as if somebody has pulled the chair away and you're hanging mid-air. Similarly, you're lying on the bed at home and you will feel somebody has taken the bed away. If we know this, then we can prepare for death. We won't get upset by this. In life, we enjoyed so many moments of happiness. Happiness is a vibration of the earth element, Prithvi Tattva. So we thank the earth element. Smell is the tanmatra of the earth. And we enjoyed so many smells, so many fragrances. The next element to go will be the water element. And we are lying on the bed, and suddenly we feel all the juices of the body are drying up. We'll feel a lot of heat in the body. We'll ask people around us, please give me some water. All our life we experienced so many emotions of affection, of love. They are because of the water element. So we thank the water element. So many tastes. Momentarily you'll feel that you can't taste anything. And then again the power of taste will come back. The third element will be the fire element, and when the fire element goes, we'll feel as if we've lost the sight of our eyes. We are blind for some time. People may be in front of us, but we can't see them any longer. Again it will come back. It is the fire element which gave us comfort, warmth. It allowed us to burn impurities. We thank the fire element. The next element to go is the air element, the wind element. It allowed us to move about freely. We moved wherever we wanted to move. It gave us the capacity to feel, to sense what is hot, what is cold, what is rough, what is smooth. And for some time we won't have any feeling. We will lose the power of feeling. Again it will come back. And then the last element to go is the ether element, the Akash Tattva. It gave us freedom. It gave us the capacity to hear sound. And for some time, we will feel as if we become deaf. We can't hear anything. And these symptoms, as death approaches, will keep coming faster. They'll keep coming together. And because we know what is happening, we are not upset by them. As the moment of death approaches, all the energy of the body, from every cell of the body, will come together at one point, a small bindu, a point below the backbone. And when this happens, a few moments before death, we will feel a deep pulling in our body, as if the string of a bow is being pulled. It is on this string that the soul leaves the body. And once this has happened, in the last 3 minutes before death, our life will rewind once. From an old person, we will go back to being a young child again. And in 3 minutes, we'll go through the main milestones of our life. And if we can use this as a chance to change anything, consciously change anything. Somewhere we made a wrong decision, we can change that. Somewhere we got a disease, we can ask that disease to go away. And then at the moment of death, when the bow is being pulled and the soul is ready to leave the body, we will see a bright light. Light erases memory, and all the memory of this life will get erased. At the final moment, we will forget even our own name. And at that moment, we know that the moment of death has come, and the soul will leave the body through the top of the head, and our body will fall lifeless on the bed. Observe your own body, lifeless on the bed. 4 to 6 people come, they pick up the body and take it to the crematorium. And there on a pile of wood, our body is slowly burning to ashes. Nothing remains. And as the fires die out, the ashes remain. And then a deep gust of wind comes and blows away all the ashes. And just an empty space remains. Meditate on that empty space for 1 minute, breathing with the music. Slowly come back. Slowly open your eyes. We'll try and finish Kali today. I hope there are no questions. Right? Now there are many aspects of time, but we will try to understand time in 3 dimensions. First is the line of time, the linear line of time, which we draw from birth to death. Now, this line of time is composed of small dots which we call present moments. And we saw that day how the present moment was created. And the mind joins these dots and makes a line of time. Our vision in life is limited to this present moment. We cannot see ourselves in time. Supposing you were to see the movement of the earth around the sun. So now we'll just take it as one breath for the earth, that is breathing in and breathing out, is one circle of the sun. Let us take that as a present moment of the earth, or if one breath is 5 seconds, that is 5 seconds of the earth. Now, how would we, you see, we have to, unless we can understand this, we cannot see ourselves in time. How would we see the earth in time? How would you visualize the earth in time?
Calendar year?
No, we said that the earth takes 1 year to go around the sun. That movement is one breath of the earth. It breathes in and breathes out. So what we call a year for us is one breath of the earth. Right? Now, say that, so that would be, say, 3 to 5 seconds of the earth. Right? What is for us 1 year is 3 to 5 seconds of the earth. Now, supposing you want to see the earth in 70 years, not our 70 years, 70. What will you see? What will you see? If you can see the earth in time, what would you see? I don't have a board over here, otherwise I would have drawn it. Supposing I was to see you, say you are, say, 65 or whatever, right? So I'm looking at 65 years together. What do I see? Come on, I think we've done this few years ago. Not done this? Okay. So it is a spiral movement. The earth is moving around the sun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now suddenly if I see 70 years of the earth together, I don't see what the two-dimensional plane which we see. What we are seeing is a two-dimensional disk of the sun, and we are visualizing the two-dimensional disk of the earth going around the sun. I don't see that. I see all these 70 years in one frozen picture. So what will the earth look like in those 70 years? This is what we call our time body. All of us have a time body. And I'm trying to give you a picture of what that time body is. So if the earth has gone round like this, so you will see something elongated in time. Will the earth look like something human, something living? That is what I'm trying to ask. Can you see? It will take a certain form. It will take a certain form. Our what do you call, vision is limited to the present moment. We can't see out this side and this side of the present moment. The eyes cannot see yesterday. Can you see? The tongue cannot taste yesterday. Right? Or the tongue cannot taste. Many people, they ask that when you look at something in time, they relate it to the present moment. You cannot relate it to the present moment. I don't know. I'm not coming across this. If I had a board, I would have been a little easier for me. But try to understand this. That in its 70 years, which is 5 seconds is 1 year. Right? So you're looking at thousands and thousands of rotations. Now, if you see all those rotations together as one frozen picture, then you don't see Earth like this or Sun like this. You see the Sun like this. We can call it a long body. You see it as something living. Can you understand? Now, try to understand when you study electricity, right? And one electrical, body is moving around another electrical body. And suddenly there are different coils of electricity. Either there's a step up in electricity or there's a step down in the electricity. And suddenly all these coils, because the earth has also moved, but in that much time the sun has also moved. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So when we are looking at all these millions of years together in one vision, suddenly the earth and sun, they come off as something, not just dead bodies, they come off as something living, which are moving in some dimension of time. They are trying to move towards an aim in some dimension of, I don't know whether you see, because when the rishis saw this, when the rishis were able to see this, they gave a form, a living form to each and every planet. And in astrology, there are forms. The planet has a form, right? So you can make a statue of Venus, you can make a statue of Saturn, right? Which tells you what are the qualities of the long body of that. Can you understand? Because this electricity is coming from the sun, they are moving around the sun, and each one is giving different voltage, different ampere, and creating a huge, in these millions of years, we are looking at those millions of years together. Can you understand this? And this is, our time bodies are very similar because our time bodies are astral. They are made up of planetary substance. Right? So when we say Kali Mata is our own time body, then it is this millions of journeys which we have done together, we suddenly see it as one form all together. Oh, this is what I am, not what I see in the mirror. And it is very difficult to understand this. Maybe in deep meditation or something we get a glimpse of, something like this. Many people, they would come to Mr. Tavaria, but you see, when he saw a person, he would see the long body of that person. When I see you, I'm only seeing your physical body in whatever three-dimensional form of space it is in. I'm not seeing the long body of all those lives that you have gone through, each circle you have moved through, and all that long body. Of course, Krishna does tell Arjuna in the Gita that I can see all of them together. You can only see this. So when we are talking of this three-dimensional time, it is this spiral movement of time, and that is when we die, that long body of time where all our experiences which we have passed through in maybe how many millions of lifetimes, they all become just one long body of time. So many times we talk about people who can see the future. The very famous ones, of course, Nostradamus and Edward Casey, and but you see, we feel that when they are seeing the future, they are seeing as if you and I meet. It's not like that. They are looking at a certain long body, and from that they try to predict something, and many times the prediction can go wrong because what they are seeing is the long body of time. Right? And we think that they are saying pictures of you and I meeting and saying hello. Right? So what we must understand is that the past is not something which is dead. The past is something which is now. It is here in this now. Atit anagat swarupta asti. The past and the future exist in the now. Exist in the now. And by changing this now, by rising in consciousness in this now, that whole time body changes. That whole time body changes. Now, look at that time body as an electrical circuit. Try to see that time body. See, I'm just going haywire over right now. That supposing you and I meet, if you and I meet, right? How will we express it in that time body? It will be a meeting of two electrical circuits. There will be an exchange of electricity. There will be an exchange of electricity, right? And that moment in the time body is recorded forever. It is there always in the now. It never becomes past, it never becomes future. It is always there. So what does it mean when one person rises in consciousness? What does it mean?
He changes his past and future.
Right?
Of everyone around.
Pardon?
Brings of everyone around.
Play, I don't.
Pushes everyone else around.
Yes, absolutely right. All the connections which he has formed in his time body, all of them will be affected wherever they are. You understand?
So you are trying to say that if you rise in consciousness now, the 10 years back or 50 years back, whomever you have met,
That also gets affected
in a
that
positive
also-
manner.
in a positive manner. Of course, man is so mechanical, he does not realize that that sensitivity is not there. A simple example we'll take. We have in our group recent example of one lady whose young son died in an accident. He went to Africa and he died in an accident. Now, there was something which invited this event, right? Now, the lady is still living, the son has gone on his journey, and she is this thing that whether the son will, rise in his journey or whether the same thing will be repeated. Of course, there's no way you can recognize your son now. No, it's gone. How can she help her son? Yes, when she rises to another plane of consciousness, that connection with her son is going to change because it is in the now. And in that now the electrical circuits will change. Can you see? And maybe he will not invite that accident again.
Mother has the power, if for instance, if mother rises to the next level of consciousness, she has the capacity and power of changing the son's
all the people she's connected with, and definitely there's a deep connection with the son who has just gone away. See, take time as a building of flats, different stories, right? So we die and we come back and we are born on the same story. Then everything which is related to that story is going to happen again, to that floor is going to happen again. Again we die and we come back to the same floor. Again the same time repeats. But there is higher time and there is also lower time. We may even fall down in time, right? And these are lines which are parallel to each other. So if one person rises in time, right, then that person, whomever he is connected with, gets affected. You understand? There's that famous interview which Tauriaji gave to Bharatbhai, and Bharatbhai asked him, when are you coming again? He said, after 1500 years. So, okay, how will we know? Okay, you don't have to worry. All those people whom I'm connected with will gather around me. Can you see? Right? Because he knows the law. It is not something that he knows the law that what is going to happen. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is that we have this time body within us, and it is this time body, if by changing one thing in the time body, so many connections get done in that. Now, each moment which we pass through, there is a connection to our time body, right? But that connection is not a linear connection, it is more a vertical connection. So when we make a conscious effort in this moment, we are connecting to that time body, and the conscious effort we make is, we can say it now, is self-remembering, right? Where we try to rise in our time body. So just by practicing the, of not identifying in the moment, observing ourselves in the moment, not allowing ourselves to be mechanical in the moment, and trying to remember ourselves in the moment, we rise in vertical time, we climb the ladder of time, and the time body changes. At the moment of death, we die with a different time body, right? And this time body is what we call as Kali. Now, before I end Kali, two incidents in the life of Ramakrishna, right? So he was a devotee of Kali, and Kali manifested to him, right? So, like we say that Shiva manifested to Narsi Mehta, right? Shiva manifested to Narsi Mehta. right? So that does not mean there's a goddess or something of that sort, but that ultimate truth, it uses our own sanskar, the form lying in our eternity, and it manifests through that form, and it appears before us, right? And he wanted this darshan of Kali, and he really wanted it, what do you call, from the, really yearned for it deeply. So he had this unbearable longing for the vision of Kali. One day he could stand it no longer. He was very desperate. And he seized a sword from the wall, which was in the shrine room. And he was about to end his own life, cut off his own head. And at that moment, he must have come into a state of deep one-pointedness. All the thoughts must have vanished. There must have been an empty space inside the mind. And that higher truth, it, what do you call, manifested as the vision of Kali in front of them. She revealed herself. All the temple and all the surroundings vanished. He only saw this form of Kali. And she was bathing in a radiant, full of light stream of consciousness. He was so hit by the waves of consciousness and light that he lost consciousness himself. He fell down, lost consciousness himself. But he, in that falling down, he could still feel that he was experiencing a very, very high state of anand, bliss in that. And it was as if the bliss was undiluted. Undiluted means not dependent on anything. It was self-created bliss. So, in that moment, Kali, as the Absolute, revealed herself to Ramakrishna. And then in his life, he had one more experience of Kali. And he was doing puja of the altar in the temple. And suddenly, the marble floor, the murti, the whole altar, all the walls of the temple, everything vanished, and he could see in their place there was just pure vibration. In the second time, he did not have a darshan of the form. He had a darshan of pure vibration. He had just fed the cat with the prasad of mothers, Kali Mata, and even that living cat became pure vibration. Right? It was no longer, he could see it as the form of a cat. So it is in the, Kali gave him two different experiences. One as the statue, the form, so what we call as Saguna experience, and the one that she is not even with any form, she is just pure vibration, and that also Nirguna, what we call this. So because Kali is the great devourer, she eats everything. Everything again goes back into Kali, and everything comes out of her again. Now, she is female energy. And because she is the point of creation, at the basic level, everybody is male and female, but still somebody's body is male and somebody's body is female. And so there must be a very deep respect for the female body, right? So one of the worst karmas which we can perform is that we, don't respect the female form. We give pain to the female form, we hurt the female form in that. And in another way, there's a story of Kali, we'll just end with that, is that Parvati wanted to attract Shiva, the attention, and Shiva was not paying attention to her. So she felt she was too dark, and maybe she bought some fairness cream or something, right? And she wanted to have a fair skin. So she drew out all the darkness from her body, and Kali was created out of that. That is the creation of Kali. And when Kali came out, Kali told her that to ask Shiva to reveal the deep secrets of Tantra to her. And it is through that all this, what we are doing, that it has come from those, what Shiva gave to Parvati, right? So we'll end Kali over here. If any questions, we can take them.
So, Shiva, right? And Parvati, Sati, Kali, and all the other 10 forms. So they all are persons' state of being, brings that out from the consciousness. How do we, because these are all, they are physically, they are not there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you say, when your anger is there, or any form of trait, good or bad, they bring out that particular form in you, and that is how we say that this is.
A chessboard,
Yes.
right? So the poor king can only move one square at a time. But the queen is multi-dimensional. She can move, except for the horse, she can move all the other, this thing. I don't know why they left the horse out, right? Okay. Maybe she can move like the horse also. So the queen is multi-dimensional. But only to protect the king. So consciousness, in the beginning, we don't know whether it was Shiva or Shakti. Can you get it? Because it was a male-oriented society, so they called it Shiva. And Shakti separated from Shiva. Right? But they were both one. In the beginning, both were one. Right? And Shakti did separate from Shiva. Right? Now, Shiva is totality, Purnata. Even though Shakti separates from Shiva, nothing changes in Shiva. Nothing changes in Shiva. But Shakti has this, what do you call, duty to create a multifold universe. Right? So, she has to have a multiplicity of character, what do you call, characteristics, of qualities. So these 10, this thing, they contain the total qualities of Shakti. Now, Purnata, what we call totality, it does not mean all 10. But all 10 is totality.
In their own.
Supposing Shakti wants to merge with Shiva again, she does not have to get the characteristics of all 10. For that totality, even one will do. That is what I'm trying to say. So these cannot be divided further. If they are divided further, 1 plus 1 will become 2. But here 1 remains 1. So by any of these 10 forms we can merge back into the Shiva. Now if they were to break them up further, then 2 forms would have to merge into 1 to move. So you can take on the qualities of these 10, or you can study all 10 and see the qualities. Right? So we are trying to just study all 10, that is all. But even 1 will do. Because it is a multiplicity of characteristics, of qualities.
So here we are not concentrating directly on the Shiva, but we are
concentrating on our essence, and whether our essence has reached us. To reach that state of consciousness of Shiva, it needs so many qualities. It has to imbibe so many qualities. એટલે આમ ગુજરાતીમાં કે આપણા જીવને પૂર્ણતા લઈ આવવા માટે આટલી વસ્તુઓની જરૂર પડે.
So for, let's say, self-remembering, right? So when we do self-remembering, so we are kind of going to the self, to the essence of who we are, the consciousness, right? So that way also we can reach to the Shiva, to the whatever the ultimate
Self is Shiva.
Self, right? So then we do not need all this aspect to.
But still the essence is incomplete. The essence is incomplete.
Essence in the moment.
No, the essence, our essence.
Yeah,
Our essence is
the moment
incomplete.
is
Yeah.
incomplete.
So the light of Shiva, which is in the essence, cannot return to Shiva unless the essence reaches a certain degree of purification,
So
a certain quality of totality.
So by remembering self, by rising in consciousness, by
But
self-observation and all that.
Still the essence, we will have to fulfill certain parts of the essence. And these qualities are here. These qualities are here. Otherwise, there will be some kind of imbalance. See, Gurdjieff has not given us a, what do you call, picture of the essence. He has just talked of self-remembering. He has not said that how you study your essence and which part of the essence needs which kind of food, which kind of impression. Now, a musician's certain part of essence may be totally developed. But if he keeps on giving him impressions of music, the other part is not going to get developed. You understand what I'm trying to say? He has to develop the other part of his essence. Now, if you see a musician, right, he may be very egoistic. Now, it's very obvious where he has to work. Most musicians are very egoistic, right? So it's very obvious where they have to work, right? But he will keep on taking more and more impressions of music. Now the other part of the essence remains in the kg. It's not grown only.
But then you are saying that out of these 10 different.
Now, for a total essence, these are 10 total essences.
Oh.
You get it?
So out of 10, you can just pick one.
Pick one.
And that is total.
Total. And you can merge back.
And by so doing the sadhana of mantra and tantra of that particular total purna.
We will say we take Shri Yantra. So it is a total sadhana. The bindu is there in the center. The square is there in the beginning. Square is the earth, right? The physical body. Huh? And we enter from the 4 doors. and we reach the Bindu. Everything is there in that one diagram, everything is there, Tripura Sundari. Right? But then Tripura Sundari will have so many different aspects. But through this one aspect you can reach. Through this one aspect you can reach.
So these are the kind of stepping stone or help in getting where we need to go, or merge into our.
They will give us the map. They'll give us the map. And that map will open certain things from us.
How you, just to add on to that, how you know out of this 10, which is the one that you should choose, and how this will help you attain.
That is the beauty, we study all 10.
See, so instead of choosing one, you need to be studying each of them. So rather than being master of one, be a jack of all.
It's not that, but by, I don't know if you've listened to the previous talks, I don't know if you've listened to, but what I said in the beginning, there was no statues. The sadhana was done through the yantra only. The yantra was the form, right? And any of these yantras are so powerful that they can lead you to that. You don't have to go through all of them.
So it's not that you choose, they choose you.
Huh?
It's not that you choose the yantra chooses you.
No, you choose one and you work. Maybe if you find it is not working for you, then you can move to another. When I was doing the corrective exercises, Mr. Tavaria told me that for 3 weeks you do all of them, one by one, right? And then you decide which you want to do. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, we don't have much time. Today is Thursday and we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. So I'm going to drop the second Mahavidya, which is Tara. And I'm going to take the third one, which is Tripura Sundari. So today, tomorrow, if we can finish Tripura Sundari, or on Saturday, then Sunday, the last talk, we can go a little bit into the yantra of Tripura Sundari, which is the Shri yantra.
Please.
Right? So, can we on Sunday have a board or something of that sort? Or we can go downstairs or something?
Or we can bring the paper, right? I mean.
We'll do maybe we'll have it downstairs.
We can take it down. Or can you prepare a slides?
We also have a big easel whiteboard.
Huh?
We also have that whiteboard, big whiteboard we can bring.
Yeah, but if you can, my drawing is the best in the world, so if you are preparing a slide, then it'll look good.
Okay. We'll do it Saturday.
Huh?
Yeah, we'll do it Saturday.
If you can do it that way, otherwise this will look terrible. Okay, we'll go into Tripura Sundari. Now try to understand this that there's pure Sat. Pure Sat is inky darkness. Nothing is manifest. And that inky darkness is Kali. That inky darkness is Kali. Within that inky darkness, there's a stirring, what is called as cosmic stress. Two people, we have that song in Hindi movies, two lovers are next to each other, right? And this one wants to tell this one, I love you, and this one wants to tell, but this one cannot say it, and this one, and they're both sitting next to one another. So there is a, what do you call, stress. So similarly, there was a cosmic stress, and that cosmic stress is the, what do you call, beginning of creation. From that, the Omkar came out. From that, the creation came out. That's when that stress could hold no longer. And that is why that day we had talked about Kali. When you're holding something inside, it is equivalent to that cosmic stress. So, there's this cosmic stress, Kali, and then there's the beginning that something is going to happen. Just as before there is sunrise, there is Arun in the sky, the what you call twilight in the sky, the red sky. So the red sky is telling you that now the sun is about to rise. The sun has not risen. Creation has not yet happened. Creation has not yet happened, but in that darkness, there is a ray of something which is telling us it is on the verge of happening. That second movement, that what you call that Sandhya, where it is just about to happen, is the second one, which is called Tara. And then suddenly the whole creation starts. And the creation starts in two sides. One, it is the rays of light, and the rays of light go everywhere. The rays of light are Tripura Sundari, which take on the three forces. And as the rays of light penetrate creation, life is expressed. And the next one is Bhuvaneshwari, the expression of creation. Right? So this is the process of creation, Tripura Sundari. Tripura means in the three worlds, she is most beautiful. Right? And the rishis have done this in such a beautiful way. Sundari means that something where our attention gets, what do you call, this universe was created for only one purpose, and that is to seduce our attention. Right? That was the only purpose, and that is why she is called as Tripura Sundari. એટલે આ Tripura, the direct meaning is the one who is leading beyond dharma, earth and kama. Right? Dharma, artha, kama. Right? She's leading us beyond that, and beyond that is moksha. Right? So by understanding Tripura Sundari properly, either we fall into identification, into sansar, and if we can understand her properly, then we go beyond, back into moksha. Right? The word Pur, city, but it's got a deep meaning. Prove that which gives us freedom, that which takes us into freedom, that which gives us protection, that which gives progress, where we rise higher. And then the word Sundari, beautiful. Now Sundari has two roots. Su means very beautiful, good, and Und. Und means to moisten. It's a beautiful this thing over here. That to moisten. I'll tell you first in Gujarati. સુંદર એ વસ્તુ જે આપણા મનને ભીંજવે, that which moistens the mind, that which moistens the mind. Anything where you see is beauty, it has what do you call, it has watered the mind, this thing, right? And it has the other root, dhru, to respect and honor. So we see the beautiful and we respect and honor, and that is the meaning of the word sundar. So Tripura Sundari she is. જે મનને ભીજવે છે. અને once the mind is moistened, right, your attention is gone completely, right, and you're trapped in sansar, right? And everybody gets trapped and they fall in love and whatever. So so Kali was the unmanifest void. Tripura, the first Tara, the first appearance of dawn. We've not taken Tara, right? But try to understand. Tara comes from the root Taru, which takes you from this shore to that shore, which takes you towards Mukti, right? So she is not the pure Nirguna state. She is the state with all the qualities, Tripura Sundari. And she has other names also. Another name for her is Shodashi, the one who always remains 16. She never becomes 17 years old. She's always 16, right? And this is the quality of man's attention. Right? He falls in love when the woman is 16. And then 20 years pass, but that picture does not change in his mind. And he looks and he says that, but she's not the same one, right? She's not the same one. Now she looks 40 years, but I'm 16, right? So, poor man, what can he do, right? So, she is the one who always remains 16. Her name is Shodashi. Kameshwari. And as Kameshwari, of course, it is highly ridden in the, what do you call, the Tantra of sex. But as Kameshwari, she created a city. That city was called as Srinagar. So Tripura Sundari, the Srinagar, the whole city of Srinagar, in whichever time, we don't know, was on the design of the Sri Yantra, on the design of the Sri Yantra in three-dimensional form. And there, Tripura Sundari sitting as Kameshwari in what do you call? I don't know. Actually, in 1980. In 1980, Ramdulare Bapu had taken us to see the solar eclipse in Orissa. So in Orissa, there was a sun temple in Konark. And we had gone with him to see the solar eclipse at the sun temple. And to see the solar eclipse at the sun temple was something very, so then when will the next solar eclipse be at a sun temple? So it's in 1992. And that'll be, you'll be able to see it from the Sun Temple in Kashmir, 1992, in Srinagar. That is the Martan Solar Temple, Martan Mandir. Of course, Ramdulare Bapu left in 82, so the question of him taking us in 92 to Srinagar and seeing it didn't arise again. And then, of course, by the late 80s and 90s, Kashmir was impossible to go also. But if you see the Hindi picture, what's the name of the picture?
जब फूल खिला?
No. There's the song in this picture, and तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा नहीं. Andi. And in that picture, Andi, this song, if you see the background of that is the Martan Surya Mandir. And you may get some idea of what the original form of Srinagar would have been. Because it is, of course, in ruins, but still when you see that song in the movie, when you don't listen to the song, see the background, right? And the background is the sun temple of Martand Surya Mandir. And you'll get some idea of the city of Kameshwari, what it could have been in those days, whenever it was possible. So, that vision of enlightened consciousness, when we are sitting on the boundary of, just going into the formless, right? But we have not yet gone, we are still on this side, and we still want to enjoy the, the sundarta, the beauty of the created world. When we are sitting on that wall, that boundary, on this side is Tripura Sundari, on that side in the formless is Kali, and just above, between the two is Tara. Right? So she is the rising sun. And once the sun rises, two things happen. One is there is light, and the other there is shadow. So she is the beginning of duality. The beginning of duality. With light comes duality. And where there is duality, there is you and I. And where there is duality, there is desire for the other. So she is the beginning of desire. Of course, the world manifested through his desire, but she is now the beginning of individual desire, of worldly desire. Beauty means freedom, right? So when we see something beautiful, we feel as if we have escaped from the jail, So beauty is freedom. So in Tripura Sundari, there is pure freedom, the pure freedom of everything in the universe. Now, see, this happens all the time, that we see something beautiful and but you see, in this duality, so one part of the duality is we see something beautiful, we fall in love with that. But then there comes the shadow aspect of duality. This is the light aspect of duality. And the shadow aspect of duality is possessiveness. Right? Okay, beautiful, let me possess it. And with possession comes the shadow, everything that is ugly, jealousy, right? And everything else which comes with it. Right? So, so in pure beauty there is freedom, but in possession of beauty there is ugliness. Right? When we want to possess that beauty, it is like a free bird is beautiful, but a bird in the cage, right? Now, with the creation of duality, love love becomes object oriented. Like, I love something, I want to possess that. So, when there is desire to possess something, what is the byproduct of desire? To possess something.
Jealousy. Jealousy. Sadness.
Fear.
Sad.
Fear. some things you learn very early in life. So when I first went into college, I was only 17 years old. So then I saw a girl, I said, I want to talk to this girl, but how to talk to this girl? So I said, let me ask her whether I can carry her books when she goes to the bus stop. So it came up to here, then I didn't have the guts to ask her. After 2 days, I saw that somebody else was carrying her books. Right. So then I said, I'll never make this mistake again. Right. So you learn through life. So if you desire something, there's always the fear that somebody else will take it away. So desire and fear go together. It comes together. And that is why with Tripura Sundari, that two sides of life were created. The higher side, where we experience beauty, art, love, freedom, and the lower side, all the negative emotions. And so both these, the higher psychic nature, the lower psychic nature, both came together. Now, together with this, something else was born. And that was the longing for objects of desire. The longing for objects of desire. Now, where does longing come from? And it doesn't have to be a person also. I may see a beautiful painting and I may say, I want to buy this painting. Right? So it's the work of art. And just as I feel a longing for some other person, I may go home and, I have a longing for owning that painting. Right? Or in people doing business or something, and one big businessman wants to buy another factory or something, he may feel a longing for that. Now, so through Tripura Sundari, the longing for life was created. The longing. Now, what is this longing? We in the Vaishnavas call it as virha. Virha, right? What is this exact? Where does longing come from? Supposing at home you have a beautiful plate and the plate falls to the ground and it's broken into two parts, right? And then you want to join those parts because that is a very rare plate, a very nice plate. So you will get some gum or fix it or something, whatever they call it, right? And you will, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? You have to fit each part which is broken exactly into the other part. Now supposing we have a half plate within us, and that half plate is created by Tripura Sundari, which is always longing for the other half. Okay. Something should fit in completely, then my life is right. And of course, when you meet someone, all the parts don't exactly fit in. Some part may be here and some part is here. And then you say, maybe if I buy a new house, it'll fit in, or I buy a new car, it'll fit in, or I earn some money, it'll fit in. But it really does not fit in. And at one point you realize that this longing, this car is just an instrumental cause, a nimit to create the longing, or maybe a beautiful girl is just the nimit to create that longing. This longing is for something
Yeah.
higher. And it is only in that higher that you will find the exact, what you call, other half of that plate. And that creation of longing, which we call as virha, comes from Tripura Sundari. And we must understand this, because when we are young, we feel that, oh, if I just get this, that everything in my life is, both the parts of the plate have, what do you call, of course, they cannot fit that way, the part, right? But we keep searching for the other part. So, but in virha, there is not just the longing, there is plus the pain of separation. So there is longing plus the pain of separation. And if we can understand this, then it is a fast shortcut into that absolute. That just from Tripura Sundari we can jump. And bhakti is the, what do you call, culmination of using this power of longing and pain, the pain of separation and the longing to be together again. So initially our longing is object oriented. Maybe it is a thing, right? And I remember when I was very young, I wanted a special music system, longing for a music system, right? So, I mean, you long for things like this. And then a point comes where the deep understanding inside, and you understand that object-oriented longing can never lead you to satisfaction. And you drop the and the longing then becomes subjective. You dissolve into the longing. Every time you feel the pain of, you just move into it and you dissolve into it. And at one point, the ego does not remain and the two parts sort of join together. Right? So this is the path of bhakti. And so sometimes you wonder whether a person should get what he loves or he should not get what he loves, but that is a different matter. And what's our time? You know, we say that Krishna, when he was 11 years old, he left, what do you call, Vrindavan, and he went to Mathura. And he never came back. After that, he never came back. And it is said that Radha was in the pain of separation and this inner longing for Krishna. Right? And she would go to all the places where she and Krishna would meet. And she would move into this pain, hold the pain and move into the longing. And in that she would dissolve into it. And in the moment of dissolving, there is an explosion of bliss and joy inside. And she would keep on practicing this. Now she had, developed so far in her, what do you call, progress in this, that if Krishna had come back, he would have spoiled everything. Can you understand? So Krishna knew, he never came back, right? But 3 times she was in difficulty where she didn't know what was the next step to be taken. And he comes to her, he meets her in her mind and tells her what step to take. And it is through that pain, what do you call, that longing, the virha and the pain of separation, that she finally, what do you call, merges into Krishna. merges into Krishna. The two parts of the plate become one again, right? And you know, in literature, there is one technique in literature which is called as future shadowing or future pacing. So when you see good, what do you call, good movie directors, they have this art of future pacing, future shadowing. They tell you right in the beginning of the story what is going to happen. And they give it in such a beautiful symbol, you know. So when we read the Bhagavad, so the Bhagavad is, and in one of the, what do you call, events in the Bhagavad, Krishna wears Radha's clothes and what do you call, Radha wears Krishna's clothes, right? And there the author of the Bhagavad, of course that is Vyas Muni, the author of the Bhagavad, he's future pacing, he's telling you that one day Radha will become Krishna and Krishna will become Radha. They'll both merge into one, you won't be able to know, but this happens right in the beginning, right in the beginning. And this is what is called as future pacing. It is a literature technique which many writers, many good movie directors, if you see some movies, it's so well they express it. There was this movie by Raj Kapoor called Prem Rog. I don't know if you've seen it, where this actress becomes a widow and there's a lot of, what do you call, pain in her life. And then her childhood friend comes and there's a thorn in her foot and he comes and takes out. And Raj Kapoor is telling us, you know, that now this is what is going to happen in this movie, you know. So he had that knack of future pacing in this thing. So Radha goes through this. Krishna cannot come back to beat her, and at one point she merges, right? And when they merge, it is called Akash Tattva, and that is why they say the guna of Akash, the tanmatra of Akash is Shabda, sound. So whether Radha is there or Krishna is there, it does not matter. The flute is still playing. That is what they say, right? We stop over here.
So actually the Vira is for longing of merging with the self. But we do not know, and
we want to merge with something else.
Looking in
Maybe a good dinner or something at a restaurant. But there's a very good practice, you know, because today they have created these huge malls. And you can go to the malls and you'll say, oh, I am this, and you feel a little longing, dissolve into the longing. And maybe you see a dress or you see a chappal or something of that sort, right? And you feel a longing, and again you dissolve into the longing, right? And maybe you see a t-shirt. You can practice that, and you take a walk at the same time. Right? So practice of Vira.
In that case, we don't have to look at it. We can just walk. Once we look at it, then it's gone.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.